Hi, I'm Robert and I want to explain email authentication today. It's a bit technical, so I'm going to use a lot of examples. Like the one where I hacked Joe Biden's email account. So why is authentication even a thing? Well, back in the day, nobody really thought that spam could become the problem that it is today. For that reason, security has been more of an afterthought. There is, for example, absolutely nothing that can stop me from sending an email with the sender address joebiden@whitehouse.gov, which is pretty crazy. This email is one that I put together myself. It talks about crazy things like the US joining the European Union and adopting the euro as its currency. Something that should never make it into anyone's inbox. But it did. So no, Joe Biden, I didn't actually hack your email account, but I did use your email address. We'll dig into that some more and also uncover the problem the White House has with its email authentication, which they really need to get sorted. But let's start at the beginning. Companies use different channels to send email. You have your regular company emails that you send with Google Workspace or Outlook 365, for example. You have email newsletters sent via MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, GetResponse, and so on. Then there are transactional emails like order confirmations, password reset emails sent, for example, through WordPress or help desk emails sent through Freshdesk. You get the story. So the thing is that all these different channels need to be authenticated because they are using your domain to send emails. And the receiving email service, like Gmail or Yahoo, need to know that MailChimp, for example, is authorized to send emails on your behalf. In our case, that would be contact@emailtooltester.com, which we both use for Freshdesk and our email newsletter. What happens without authentication? You risk spoofing attacks, like the one we saw at the beginning. Someone like me pretending to be the President of the United States. And we don't want that. That's why it's so important to set up email authentication. This is managed in the domain name settings, the DNS. While we are looking at Namecheap here, this is basically the same for all domain registrars. Somewhere there is a section that says something like Advanced DNS. There you set up everything related to the domain name. Let's start with the most basic form of authentication, SPF. SPF defines which email servers are allowed to send on your behalf. In our case, that is MailerLite, Google Workspace, Brevo, and Freshdesk. It's a simple TXT record that you add to your DNS. It's important that you list all the services that you use here. It's a good start, but not very safe. If I allow MailerLite to send emails in our name, in theory, all of MailerLite's customers could send emails in our name as well. Unless MailerLite stops it, which I'm pretty sure they will, but I'm guessing that not all companies are as responsible as they are. For that reason, a better authentication method was created. DKIM. DKIM is also a TXT record. Here's an example for our Google Workspace record. It works by adding a private key to our emails. Once the email is received by Gmail or Outlook, for example, they will look up your domain and check if the public DNS key matches the private key in the email. If there is a match, your email goes into the inbox. Well, not always, but it's much more likely that it will. If there isn't a match, it's much more likely that it goes to spam. But does it really work? Well, we saw that the Joe Biden email wasn't filtered, so no, it doesn't always work. So let's uncover this bizarre Joe Biden email. What happened there? Let me show you a little trick so you can do a quick authentication check yourself. All you need is a Gmail account. Go to an email you want to check, click Show Original, and look at the result. This is one of our emails, which passes SPF, DKIM, and also DMARC, which we'll talk about in a minute. The Joe Biden email surprisingly passed SPF, DKIM, but it didn't pass DMARC. Let's look at the details. The reason why it passed SPF and DKIM is that the email service that I used to send it signed for these authentication methods with its own domain name. So SPF and DKIM alone aren't really enough to prove the authenticity of a sender, as they can simply be signed by an email service provider, which pretty much defeats the purpose. That's why DMARC has been created. Because the DMARC check will only pass, in this case, if the alignment with the whitehouse.gov domain is there. And that I won't be able to fake my way around. DMARC is built on top of SPF and DKIM. The DMARC policy you set up will define what should be done with the emails that fail either SPF, DKIM, or both. Another possibility is that both SPF and DKIM pass, but the domains are not aligned. In this case, DMARC will also fail. I know it's not super straightforward, but I hope you get the idea. Here's what a DMARC record looks like. You essentially define a DMARC policy. None means nothing happens. Quarantine means the email will go to spam, and reject means it will be blocked entirely and never delivered. So finally, we now understand what happened with the Joe Biden email. The White House has a none policy set up. That's how it was possible that my email got delivered into the main inbox. As I said in the beginning, there is absolutely nothing that can stop me from sending an email with Joe Biden's sender address. But what has to happen is that this email must be filtered as spam or even fully blocked. So as you can see, the White House has some homework to do, namely set the DMARC policy to quarantine or block. If you know anyone there, please give them a heads up and my best wishes.
We get the importance of that, and we're always going to try to find ways.
I hope I was able to shed some light on email authentication. Places that can help you set up your own authentication are your email service provider like GetResponse, your company email provider like Google Workspace, and also your domain registrar, for example, Namecheap or GoDaddy. At Email Tool Tester, we also offer an email authentication service where we help you to make sure everything is set up correctly. I've dropped the link in the description. That's it. I hope to see you soon at Email Tool Tester, where we bring you email marketing tips and tricks you can apply today. And of course, please hit like and subscribe.